We can't make it. Mom's fine. My wife is throwing a birthday party and we can't just abandon our guests. Those were the exact words my son, Isaac, said to the doctor when he was told I was dying. Literally dying. My heart had failed 3 times in the ambulance, and my 42-year-old son chose his wife Mayla's canapes over his mother's life. I'm lying here hooked up to machines that keep my heart beating, staring at the ceiling of this cold hospital room. It's 2 a.m. and I'm completely alone. The heart monitor beeps erratically, reminding me that each beat could be my last. And my sons are at a banquet hall 30 minutes away, toasting with champagne. The smell of disinfectant mixes with the metallic taste in my mouth from the emergency surgery. My hands tremble every time I try to move them. And it's not just the medication. It's the pure rage coursing through my veins. "Mrs. Stone, please try to rest," whispers Fiona, the night shift nurse. She's a young woman, perhaps the age of my daughters-in-law, but her eyes hold a compassion I haven't seen in my own family for years. The doctor said, "The most important thing now is for you to stay calm." Calm? How can I be calm when I've just discovered that to my children, I'm less important than a party? Dr. Miller was very specific when he told me about the calls 2 hours ago. His words still echo in my head. I told them explicitly that this could be her last night, that the heart attack was massive, and that we needed them to come immediately. My younger son Benjamin's response was even worse. "Doctor, she can't wait until tomorrow?" My wife, Diana, organized everything weeks in advance, and all the guests have already arrived. My mom is strong. She's always recovered from everything. I've always recovered from everything. That phrase reverberates in my head like a painful echo. I recovered when their father walked out on us 25 years ago, leaving me with 2 teenagers and mountains of debt. I recovered when I worked 3 jobs to put them through college, cleaning offices at dawn, waiting tables all day, and doing freelance bookkeeping late into the night. My body still holds the memory of that exhaustion. I recovered when I sold my little craftsman-style house with the big backyard where they grew up to help Isaac with the down payment for his own. "It's only temporary, Mom," he'd said. "I'll pay you back in 2 years." That was 8 years ago. I recovered when I lent Benjamin my life savings, $28,000 I had scraped together for decades, for a business venture that never took off. "It's a safe investment, Mom. In 6 months, I'll pay you back with interest." The business folded after 3. I recovered when Mayla told me at Christmas dinner that my dress wasn't really the vibe and I should dress more my age. I recovered when Diana decided my Sunday dinners were too much fuss and it was easier to just order in. I recovered when they slowly phased me out of family gatherings because, as they said, Grandma always has an opinion on everything. But this is different. This isn't about lost money or hurt feelings. This time, it's about something I can't recover from. The knowledge that when my life hung by a thread, they chose to stay at a party. Dr. Miller explained in a grave voice, "Mrs. Stone, you had 3 cardiac arrests. The paramedics resuscitated you, but you were technically dead for 4 minutes. It's a miracle you're here. 4 minutes dead." And my children were worried about not ruining the dessert table at Diana's party. The door to my room remains closed. No calls in the 5 hours since I woke up. No texts. Just the constant sound of the machines and the echo of their words. "We can't. My wife is throwing a party." Fiona checks my vitals. "Your blood pressure is a little high," she says with genuine concern. "Are you thinking about something that's upsetting you?" If she only knew. I was thinking about 66 years of unconditional love, thrown away for a birthday cake in a photo booth. Right now, as I look at the city lights through this hospital window, something inside me is breaking for good. And it's not my heart. It's something much deeper. It's the last shred of hope I had that maybe, just maybe, I still mattered. Tomorrow they'll call. I'm sure they'll show up with a generic bouquet from the grocery store and well-rehearsed excuses. They'll say they didn't understand how serious it was, that they thought I was being dramatic again. But it's too late. Tonight, they showed me exactly where I stand on their priority list. And that place is at the very bottom. I close my eyes and think back 40 years. Isaac was 2 and Benjamin was a newborn. We lived in that small 2-bedroom with paper-thin walls. My husband, Robert, worked at the factory, and I stayed home with the kids. I remember the smell of baby powder and the sound of their giggles during bath time. Isaac was my shadow. "Mommy, Mommy," he'd repeat, following me everywhere. Benjamin was more independent, but when he was sick, he'd curl up in my lap and ask for my mother's lullaby. Everything for my children, I told myself, staying up late to sew clothes for extra cash. Every extra dollar went to them: new shoes, school supplies, soccer fees, guitar lessons. I wore the same jeans for years, but they were always dressed well. The first sign things were changing came when Isaac turned 25. He'd met Mayla at work. The first time he brought her to dinner, she looked around my living room like she was inspecting a fixer-upper. "Cecilia," she said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, "don't you think it would be better if we spent Christmas at my parents' this year? Our traditions are just so established." That Christmas, I ate alone for the first time. Benjamin followed the same pattern with Diana. She was more subtle. She didn't exclude me, she just made me feel obsolete. "Oh, Cecilia, what a classic sweater," she'd say. "It's so vintage." I keep telling Benjamin we need to help you update your wardrobe. Or when I made my famous lasagna, "It's good, but so heavy. My digestion just can't handle it anymore." Benjamin loves my quinoa bowls. The invitations dwindled. First, it was "Diana's tired." Then, "The kids have homework." Finally, they just stopped. My neighbor, Carol, told me bluntly one day over coffee, "Cecilia, honey, your daughters-in-law are icing you out." I've seen this movie before. I refused to believe it. "They're good girls, Carol. They're just busy." "Busy?" she said. "They've been married for years, Cecilia. They're not busy, they've moved you to the bench." She was right. I'd become the emergency contact mom, expected to be available but not involved. The hardest blow was selling my house for Isaac. Mayla had found her forever home, but they needed a bigger down payment. "Mom," Isaac said, using that voice he had as a kid when he wanted something, "this is our big chance. It's an incredible investment." I sold my house, the one with their height marks on the doorframe, and moved to a small apartment. The first time I visited their new place, Mayla met me at the door with a tight smile. "Cecilia, what a surprise. You should have called. We're having people over." She didn't invite me in. I stood on the porch of the house I helped buy and handed her a pie I'd baked. "It's Isaac's favorite," I said. "Oh, how nice. But you know we're on a cleanse. Sugar is just so inflammatory." She held the pie like it was toxic. That night, I cried myself to sleep. With Benjamin, it was different but just as painful. When his business was failing, he was direct. "Mom, I need $8,000. If I don't get it, I'm finished." It was the last of my savings. "I'll lend it to you, honey, but I need you to sign a promissory note. Just to be official." Diana was outraged. "A promissory note? From your own son? What kind of mother does that?" In the end, I gave him the money, no strings attached. The business failed in 3 months. "You win some, you lose some, Mom," he said, as if my life savings were a lottery ticket. Now, in this hospital bed, I see it all clearly. All those moments were leading to this night. The night the truth was laid bare: to my children, I am disposable. The pain started 3 days ago at Sunday lunch at Isaac's. It was my 66th birthday, though no one remembered. Mayla served a salad and grilled chicken. Nothing like the feasts I used to make. "Mom, you look tired," Benjamin said, not looking up from his phone. "You sleeping okay?" The truth was, I hadn't. A crushing pressure in my chest woke me every night. But I didn't want to be a burden. "I'm fine, honey. Just some heartburn." Mayla chuckled dryly. "Well, at our age, the body just doesn't process food the same way, Cecilia. I keep telling my mom she needs to eat lighter." That afternoon, as I was leaving, Diana arrived with news. "Guess what? We finally got the date for my birthday party. It's this Wednesday at the Grand Plaza Ballroom. I've hired an amazing caterer, there'll be a band, over 50 people are coming. Benjamin bought me this stunning gold dress. She didn't mention it cost $1,200, more than I spend on clothes in a year." "Mom, you're obviously invited," Benjamin said, his tone making it clear it was an obligation. "Though, you know, it's a pretty fancy affair. Diana's boss is coming." The message was clear: don't embarrass us. On Tuesday night, the pain became unbearable. My left arm ached. I called Isaac. "Mom, what's up?" "We're in the middle of a movie." "Honey, I feel really sick. I have this terrible pain in my chest." "Did you take something?" "Maybe it's stress." "Look, we'll stop by tomorrow after the party." I hung up. Even my pain had to wait for a party. I couldn't sleep a wink. The pain spread to my jaw and back. At 5 a.m., I called Carol. "Honey, that sounds like a heart attack," she said. "I'm coming to get you." "No, Carol, it's Wednesday. Diana's party." "Cecilia, a party is not more important than your life." Turns out, for my children, it was. Carol found me sweating and struggling to breathe. "We're going to the hospital. Now." In the car, the pain was like a knife twisting in my chest. I held Carol's hand. In the ER, everything moved fast. The EKG was bad. My enzymes were through the roof. "We need to operate now," Dr. Miller said. "Is there anyone we can call?" Through the pain, I gave him my son's numbers. "Please, tell them it's urgent." Carol held my hand until they wheeled me away. "I'll be right here." "You're not alone." But I was. The last thing I thought before the anesthesia was of my children getting ready for a party while I fought for my life. I woke up hours later. Carol was asleep in a chair. My children were not. Did my kids call? I asked Fiona, though her face told me everything. The doctor spoke with them during surgery. He explained it was critical, that they needed to come. My weak heart shrank. "What did they say?" Fiona hesitated. "Your eldest son said they were at an important event, that they couldn't leave their guests, that you were always strong and would pull through." Tears streamed down my face. It wasn't the physical pain, it was the betrayal. "Your younger son," Fiona continued softly, asked if they could come tomorrow morning, after the celebration ended. Carol woke up. "Honey, what's wrong?" "Everything hurts, Carol. It hurts to have given my whole life to children who prefer a party to knowing if their mother will live through the night." In that moment, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., while my sons toasted with champagne 30 minutes away, I made a decision that would change everything. The next 3 days were a blur of beeping machines and a heartbreak so profound it felt physical. Every hour that passed without a word from my sons was another crack in my already broken heart. Fiona started avoiding my gaze when I asked if anyone had called. On Thursday morning, a full day after Diana's party, the room phone finally rang. My heart raced so hard the monitor screamed. It was Isaac. "Mom, how are you? We just heard you were in the hospital. Why didn't you tell us?" The audacity took my breath away. "Isaac," I said, my voice cold and unfamiliar. "The doctors called you. They told you I was dying." An awkward silence. "Oh. Well, Diana's party, people had flown in. We couldn't just cancel. Besides, you've always been strong, Mom. We thought it could wait a few hours. My life could wait a few hours." "Mom, don't be dramatic. You're fine now, right?" The doctor said the surgery worked. "Look, we'll stop by Sunday after lunch, okay?" Sunday? My near-death experience could wait until after Sunday lunch. I hung up without another word. That afternoon, Benjamin arrived with Diana in tow. She looked radiant, wearing gold earrings that matched her infamous party dress. I had greasy hair, a stained gown, and tubes in my arms. "Mother-in-law, you gave us such a scare," Diana said, her smile not reaching her eyes. "What bad luck it happened on my party day, right?" Bad luck. As if my heart attack was a scheduling conflict. "The party was incredible, Mom," Benjamin chimed in from the far chair. "You should have seen the venue." Diana outdid herself. "We made some great contacts for work." He was talking about networking while I had been fighting for my life. "How are you feeling?" Diana asked, her tone demanding a positive, one-word answer. "The doctor said I had 3 cardiac arrests," I stated, watching them. "I was clinically dead for 4 minutes." Benjamin shifted uncomfortably. "Well, it's over now. The important thing is you're recovering." The important thing, I repeated, feeling something solidify inside me, is that while I was dying, you were eating hors d'oeuvres. Diana frowned. Cecilia, that's not fair. We didn't know it was that serious. And what would we have done here? We're not doctors. It was better we were where we could be useful. Useful. Organizing a party was more useful than being with their mother. Look, Mom, Benjamin cut in. We talked. We can start visiting once a week, maybe Sundays after lunch. And if you need something urgent, just call, as long as it's not during work hours or if we have plans. Once a week, after lunch, if they didn't have plans. It was in that moment, looking at my youngest son as he scheduled me into his life like a minor chore, that something finally and definitively shattered. It wasn't my heart. It was the last tiny hope I'd clung to. You know what? I said, my voice strangely calm. You're right. You shouldn't feel guilty. They visibly relaxed, thinking I'd caved. To feel guilty, I continued, you need to have a conscience, and you clearly lost yours a long time ago. Diana's face tightened. There's no need to be rude. We came to support you. To support me? I let out a hollow laugh. You came to check a box. To ease your own mind so you can sleep at night. Benjamin stood, annoyed. Mom, you're being unfair. We can't just cancel our lives every time you have a health problem. Every time I have a health problem. As if massive heart attacks were a common cold. You're right, I told him, a profound calm settling over me. You can't cancel your lives. And I won't ask you to. Ever again. They stayed another 10 minutes, talking about their weekend plans, a new car, a vacation. I was just a spectator. When they left, I was alone with Fiona and the weight of a truth that was setting me free. Mrs. Stone, Fiona said, checking my for. I don't like that look. Do you have other family? Close friends? I have Carol, I said. And apparently, that's more than I have with my own children. That night, listening to the hospital hum, I began to plan something I never thought I'd have to do. Something final. I asked Fiona for paper and a pen. I began to write, and the words poured out after being dammed up for years. Dear Isaac and Benjamin. Asterisk for 66 years, I have lived for you. Every choice, every sacrifice, every dream I set aside was for your well-being. Today, lying here after being clinically dead, I finally understand you have not lived a single day for mine, asterisk. I wrote about turning away suitors after their father left, not wanting any man to make them feel second best. I wrote about the 3 jobs, the sold house, the lost savings. I put it all on paper, giving weight to a lifetime of silent sacrifices. But none of that matters now. What has truly broken me is not the money or the slights. It was discovering that on Wednesday, while I fought for my life on an operating table, you were toasting at a party. The doctors told you this could be my last night. And you replied that you couldn't come because a birthday party with a band and fancy appetizers was worth more than the life of the woman who gave you yours. I have finally understood something I should have years ago. I am not a priority in your lives. I am an obligation. And I will no longer live as a mother begging for crumbs of attention from children who see her as a burden. That is why I have made a decision. When you read this, I will be gone from your lives. Do not look for me. You will not find me. I am starting over in a place where I can simply be Cecilia, not the mother you abandoned. Asterisk, this is not a decision made in anger, but in self-love. The same love I gave you for 66 years, I am finally giving to myself. I deserve to be with people who value my presence, asterisk. Do not expect me to come back. Do not expect a reconciliation. This is my final goodbye. Be happy with your busy lives and your clear priorities. I will be happy, away from you. Cecilia Stone, your mother, until today. I folded the letter. Tomorrow, I'd give it to Carol with specific instructions. For the first time in days, I slept peacefully. The next morning, I woke up feeling different. Not just pain, but a nervous, electric excitement. I was taking control. Carol arrived early. You look different, honey. More at peace. Carol, I need a favor. The most important one. I handed her the letter. I need you to give this to my sons. But not until Sunday afternoon. She took it carefully. "What is this, Cecilia?" "It's my freedom," I said. "And I need your help to disappear." Her eyes widened with worry. "Cecilia, what?" "No, not like that," I said, taking her hand. "A rebirth. I'm starting a new life, far from here." I laid out my plan. I had $8,000 in a secret savings account. I had a cousin, Helen, in Phoenix. We hadn't spoken in years, but she'd always said her door was open. "The plan is simple," I explained. "On Sunday, after my son's visit for the last time, you help me leave. I'm not checking out. I'm just gone. I'll leave the letter on the bed. Your apartment, your things. Fiona's sister is a lawyer. She'll draw up a power of attorney so you can handle it all. Sell my stuff. Keep what you want." I never liked that apartment anyway. Carol was silent for a long moment. "Cecilia, this is huge. Once you leave, I don't want to come back, Carol." "That's the point." I saw the understanding dawn on her face, followed by a fierce loyalty. "You're right, honey. You have every right to be happy. And if they can't give you that, you find it yourself." We spent the morning planning. Carol would get the cash and contact the lawyer. I called my cousin Helen. "Helen? It's Cecilia. I need to tell you something important." She didn't hesitate. "Of course, come. This house is too big for me. You have a home here for as long as you need." When I hung up, it felt like I'd bought a ticket to freedom. Sunday arrived. My sons came at 2 p.m., right after lunch. Diana was with Benjamin, wearing another expensive dress. Mayla arrived late, apologizing for a work call. "Mom, you look better," Isaac said, keeping his distance. "The doctor says you'll be discharged soon." "See?" Mayla added. "We knew it couldn't be as serious as they said. You've always been so strong." "And what are your plans when you get out?" Diana asked with her plastic smile. "We were thinking, maybe a senior living community?" We toured one. It's very clean, has activities. With your pension and a little from us, it's doable. A nursing home. They wanted to put me in a home after choosing a party over my life. "Best of all," Isaac said, "you'd be with people your own age. You could make friends." They spent the next hour talking about me, not to me, planning my exile as if I were a problem to be solved. "You know what?" I said, a strange smile on my lips. "You're right. I do need a radical change." They visibly relaxed, thinking they'd won. "I'm glad you see it that way, Mom," Isaac said. "It's for the best." "Without a doubt," I said. "It's for the best." They left an hour later with quick, obligatory kisses. "We'll call you," Benjamin said from the door. "Don't worry about a thing," Diana added. "We'll handle everything." The door closed. I was free. At 7 p.m., Carol arrived with a small suitcase. Fiona helped us slip out during the shift change. In the parking lot, we met Sarah, the lawyer, and I signed the power of attorney. At the bus station, I bought a ticket for the 10 p.m. bus to Phoenix. A 12-hour trip. "I'm so proud of you," Carol said as we hugged goodbye. "Call me as soon as you get there." "I will. You're my only family now." On the bus, I took out my phone and sent one final text. "Isaac and Benjamin, by the time you read this, I will be gone. There's a letter in my room that explains everything. Do not look for me. This is my final decision. Be happy with your lives. I will be happy without you. Cecilia." I turned off my phone. I didn't want to see their replies. They'd had a lifetime to show me they cared. As the bus pulled away, I didn't feel sadness. I felt something I hadn't in decades, dignity. I arrived in Phoenix at 10 a.m. The sun was brilliant. My cousin Helen was there, her smile warm and real. "Cecilia! It's so good to see you." She hugged me tightly. "You look like you left a heavy burden behind." "I did, Helen. I really did." Her house was beautiful, full of light. My room looked out on a cactus garden. "This is your home for as long as you want," she said. That afternoon, Carol called. "Cecilia, I delivered the letter. It was just like you said." When Isaac started reading, his face went white. When he finished, Diana screamed, "Mothers don't do this." Benjamin kept calling your phone. They were panicked. Not sad, panicked. I felt a quiet vindication. The messages came, dozens of them, shifting from angry to pleading to resigned. I read them, but I didn't reply. It was too late for sorry. 6 months later, my new life is full. I walk in the mornings with a group of wonderful women. I work part-time at a lovely local bookstore. I'm taking a pottery class. I'm living for myself. I met a lovely man, Arthur, in my book club. There's nothing romantic, but it's nice to be valued for my conversation. My children's social media shows their busy, perfect lives. The difference is, now I don't have to pretend I'm a part of them. Yesterday was my 67th birthday. Helen threw me a small party. For the first time in decades, I felt genuinely celebrated. I've learned the bravest decision a woman can make is to choose herself. To finally say, my life matters. I am worth more than your leftover time. And for the first time in 40 years, being just Cecilia is more than enough. If this story resonated with you, you can support my channel by clicking the super thanks button. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What would you have done in my shoes? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to hear more stories of strength and new beginnings, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. There are plenty more waiting for you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.